Ma'am, I'm having some network issues. You may proceed with the other items.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request CMA Mihir Vyas, sir, Chairman, ICMAI-WRC to kindly address, please.
Thank you so much, Pujanka Madam. On behalf of WRC and PD Committee, I welcome CMA Dushan Dave sir. He is a very seasoned player and heading one of the largest firm in India. Thank you so much for sir for your valuable time. And audit to advisory opportunity CMA is a very unique subject, and I hope our member will learn from this subject. Thank you so much, and I also acknowledge the presence of my Vice Chairman Nandy Bhai sir, and in absence Chaitanya Bhai Arindam sir, and I also acknowledge the presence of all the members. Thank you so much, Pujanka Madam, and thank you so much, Dusyan Dave sir, for your time, valuable time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our today's speaker, CMA Dushan Dave sir. He is the founder and chairman of DC Dave of Company Cost Accountants and chairman of Decode Group. He is a Bachelor of Commerce, LLB, FCMA and Executive Education, Walton School, USA. He had a 30 plus years experience in cost audit and cost and management accounting, managing cost audits of leading industries houses of India across the sectors. He's a consulting in cost reduction, costing system, SAP, and benchmarking, etc. He is a former member of the Cost Accounting Standard Committee, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and Turnaround Consulting and Management Services. Is a advisors bank, ARCs, and private equity fund. He renders financial services, investment banking, mergers and acquisition P across the sectors and handles large transactions. He highly networked with the banks, institutions, corporates, and the states and central governments. He is recipient for the 2023 Turnaround and Transaction Awards from India at TMA USA. He is impaneled his cost audit firm as the monitoring agency with the Indian Banks Association, and he had speakers at various professional forums and visited the USA, Singapore, Hong Kong, UK, and Swiss for the profession. He's mentored many CMA interns and practitioners and other professionals during their lifetime span. He is also members of the IMC Chambers of Commerce and Industry Mumbai as a managing committee member for over 10 years and chairs the banking, finance, private equity and capital market committees. He is a member of CIA and member of Turnaround Management Association USA. I welcome sir and request sir to please kindly start the session, please. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be among my own fellow professional cost accountants. And it is further pleasure to talk about a subject other than the audit today. However, we are all basically by core, we are cost accountants. Our profession has started with a cost audit, and it is now but natural. My today's purpose of the seminar will be to excite my fellow CMAs to look at from audit functions to the advisory functions of the corporate. In that way, we would like to reinvent the cost accounting profession and lead it to management accounting profession. So let me start with the slides which I would like to put it first. So today is not just another technical webinar where you would like to have attend it only for CP. There's a conversation about where our profession stands and where it is headed. India today is at an inflection point. As you know, the government is talking about Viksit Bharat 2047. We speak about becoming a global manufacturing hub. We speak about scale, speed, and competitiveness. But let me ask you one question. Can India become globally competitive without being cost competitive? And if cost competitiveness is the foundation, then who sits at the center of that transformation? The CMAs, you and I. Because if capital is the blood of business, cost is its DNA, and we are the custodians of that DNA. Now, let me make it a little more interactive this webinar. We would not like to a situation where I speak and you listen. Let me ask you one question. You can just type in your chat either A or B. What is your current role perceived as? Is your role currently as a compliance or your current role is an advisory? A or B, if you can just write in the chat itself. Okay, is your role currently as a compliance or role currently as an advisory? Can I have some interactive participation in the chat box? Let us ask these questions to ourselves. Are we more on the compliance side or are you more on the advisory side in your current role? Can I have some participation, please? You just write A and B is fine, either A or B. Very nice. Mr. Prakash, you're writing advisory. Very good to hear this. More members, please. Can we make it this webinar a little interactive? Just writing, which is your current role is perceived as a compliance type of a role, or you are in the advisory capacity. Can we have A or B answer, please? Thank you, Chairman. You are writing. You are into both the functions. So in advisory, yes, Mr. Tapas Kumar, yes, good to see advisory functions. In one word, what do you want it to be? Or what do you want the CMS to be? I can already see most responses leading towards, some of them are compliant, some of them are, both. So I think you would like to be, suppose tomorrow in future, you would like to be more into the compliance functions or advisory functions. If you can write in the chat, what would you like your future to be? An advisory or compliance? Where do you see yourself? Can you write in the chat? Where would you like to see? Because our entire current webinar is going to be centering around your wish to be in the future and how we can steer all of us into that. Gentlemen and ladies, we'll have to make it more interactive so that we have really a good learning things happening in this seminar. Can we have some response on this? Whether would you like to, your future, would you like to be advisory? That time is shifted to advisory, correct? So when you're writing membership number details, you can also write whether you like. In the future also, I'm talking about the future. Would you like to be in advisory or compliance? If you okay, I can see that there is exactly the gap which we are going to address today. If we are all the time cost auditors, but yes, Mr. Jadhav, we all would like to be into the advisory function. Let me be very candid. For decades, we have built, we have built strong practices in cost audits, GST, and certification. These are important. They build trust, but they share three characteristics. They are fee capped. Your fee is capped in the compliance function. They are manpower driven and seasonal. And thirdly, they are increasingly commoditized. More and more people are doing the GST and certification because there is no entry barrier once you become a CMA, which means no matter how hard you work, your growth remains linear. Now, today, many brilliant CMAs are asking quiet question, is this a ceiling of my professional growth? So what is happening is the new CMAs, when they join, they are asking only one question, is audit and GST the only thing in this profession? How many of you feel your income is directly proportional to time spent? Either yes or no. I mean, your income is depending upon the time which you spend on the assignments. How many of you feel your income is directly proportional to the time spent? Yes or no? I mean, if I suppose, in other words, let me explain you. If I stop working for 2 months, revenue stops. You can also give an example. We are in a linear model. Our compliance functions are in a linear model. It's a time proportion. It's depending upon the time spent. It is not something which is a service oriented. It is completely depending on the time spent. Let me on my slide 5, let me talk on this. Now let us look at our clients. They are facing raw material volatility, supply chain disruptions, margin pressure, ESG mandates, global competition, shareholder expectations. So they are not asking that is my compliance correct? The question which they're asking is how do I protect the profitability? That's the question which they're asking now. And are we answering this question? No, because we are mainly into the compliance thing. Any feedback from the people? This is a significant step. The opportunity gap is where it is created. There is a significant gap between what clients need, that is a proactive cost reduction, and what we traditionally deliver, that is historical cost reporting. Past versus future. Traditional roles look backward, whereas advisory looks forward. And the bridge is this gap is the single biggest opportunity for CMAs today to reclaim strategic relevance. The strategic advisory. Now, what do we call it? See, now we all know audits. Of course, in my subsequent sessions on the next Thursday, we are going into the individual annexures and how each and every annexures of our cost accounting records can be converted into a opportunity for the advisory functions. This is what I am going to go into detail. Our today's session is going to give you, make you ready to get into from the cost audit to strategic advisory and why you should get into strategic advisory. Now, what is strategic advisory? When we say that advisory and strategy, what do you mean by that? Let us simplify this. Strategic advisory is not just a presentation. It's not a theory. It's not a frameworks. If your work is improving the EBITDA, then you are a strategic. So the entire concentration is on improving EBITDA. Let me give you a slide on logistics, for example. This is a ABC company. It's a live example. It's you know it's a stainless steel piping products with branches across the country. Face challenges due to their heavy reliance on multiple freight companies for product distribution. This freight charge is escalating annually, where eating into their profit margins. Recognizing the need for a competitive review of their freight expenditures, ABC company sought the expertise of the cost consultant. He thoroughly analyzed ABC's internal systems and freight dealing with the numerous suppliers. Despite initial challenges due to the multitude of stakeholders and expected resistance to change, results were swift and substantial once trust and buying were established. The cost consultant analysis uncovered the ABC companies regularly. It uncovered that the company regularly utilized over 100 freight companies, costing them upwards of 90 crores annually. By identifying inefficiencies and negotiating better rates, he achieved annual savings of approximately 24% overall, with road express expenses reduced by as much as 28%. Given ABC's significant annual expenditure on freight, these savings had a profound positive impact on the company's bottom line. So the group CFO commented that reducing cost doesn't have to equate to compromising quality. Through streamlining our operations, we're able to consolidate our freight supplies to just 3 major regular suppliers. So this made a huge difference. Now, the question which I would like to ask you, make it a little more interactive this seminar. Are you being consulted before or after any decisions taken by the company for management? Would you like to answer this? Are you consulted before or after any decision taken by the company or management? You would like to put it on the chat? Again, I'm asking you a question. Suppose if you are auditor of any company, are you being consulted before or after? Very interesting. Or as a cost auditor, you are being consulted after any decision or after the cost is incurred by the company or management. Well, of course, some of us are lucky enough to be consulted before, but the function of the cost auditor is not to get involved before the decision is taken. The before decision gets taken when you are in advisory capacity. But generally, when you are a cost auditor, you are coming to know about the implications only after. Only, yeah, exactly. Not during the audit, you are right. You are only after the cost audit or during the cost audit, you are coming to know about these expenses and you are consulted after that. Exactly. I agree with you. It's all completely after. Now, that is the shift we need to make from a historian to a decision partner. How do we do that? Let me take you to again, our case studies. Let us take an industrials. Now, in this industry, the ocean freight is 68%, small parcel shipping is 40% cost, commercial insurance is 38%, freight is 8% and all. Now, XYZ is a company. Now, these are again, I just removed the name of the company, but these are all genuine case studies. XYZ is a global leader in laser cutting systems and automation solutions for the sheet metal industry. The consultant partnered with its regional division to optimize cost across logistics, insurance, and telecommunication, supporting both manufacturing and service operations. The challenge was that despite long-standing vendor relationships and an experienced internal procurement team, XYZ identified potential inefficiencies in several high-cost categories. However, limited internal bandwidth and a lack of market benchmarking data hindered their ability to fully assess or address the opportunity. The client sought a trusted partner to deliver meaningful savings across complex spend areas without disrupting operations or compromising vendor relationships. The solution was that the consultant conducted a targeted multi-category spend analysis and identified saving opportunities in the categories mentioned above, working collaboratively with internal stakeholders and both incumbent and new vendors. He renegotiated the rates, optimized the contracts, and introduced operational improvements, including the collaboration with the domestic and international teams. The result was that he delivered over 15 crores in annual recurring savings, along with the rupees 2 crores in one-time hardware savings, all without disrupting services or vendor continuity. The engagement enhanced financial performance while preserving the client's operational agility and a strategic vendor partnerships. This is the case study on the industrials. Now, let me ask you a question on this. Have you ever worked on any cost consulting or a supply chain assignments? Can few of you give us a few examples in case you worked? It can be interactive, you can speak. And what were the challenges you faced? What was the value it added to your career and relationship with the client? So my first question, probably you can ask in yes or no, is have you ever worked on any consulting or a supply chain assignments? Yes or no? Have you worked on the consulting assignments ever? Yes. All right. Many more people who have worked on the consulting assignments? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Anybody more who has worked on the consulting assignments? If you are not worked by end of this seminar, assure you that you will start thinking on that very, very positively. As I'm going to give you the tools to get into the advisory roles from the role of the cost auditor. Any more people who have worked on it, on a consulting assignments? Gentleman who said yes, and would you like to, okay. Gentlemen, would you like to give a few example of cases? Would you like to come on the screen and talk about any example briefly, or on the challenges you faced, or what was the value which added to your career and relationship with the client? I invite any one of you who would like to, because we are all fellow professionals. It's not that okay. Yeah, gentleman has talked briefly about his experience in the cost consulting in case of a travel bags company. Wonderful. Yeah. Anybody else would like to narrate briefly for the benefit of others that there are people in our community who have been working not only on the cost audit but also on the advisory functions? Would anybody like to? I can see somebody opening the mic. You can just raise the hand and I can unmute him. See, we should work alongside management. The key, which I was telling, optimization through IX exchange. A wonderful, Meerji. Oh,
Dushan sir,
yes.
we have done this power cost optimization assignment at a fertilizer company. They have captive Pravan plant, and their production power cost is more than the purchase from the IEX exchange in 2016. So we
Okay.
started power trading through IES exchange, and company get the benefit at least 4 crore rupees per month.
Oh, wonderful. This is a great example. Yeah, you brought them into the power trading, whereas a lot of MSMEs were not even aware about that they can use this IEX. So
Yes,
in
sir.
this
Yes.
situation, yes. Yes, you are saying something? Yeah.
No, sir. No, thank you, sir. Thank you. But just wanted
Right.
to give the
No,
example.
no, thank you very much, Meerji, that you mentioned about shared your experience. Uh, over here, the main clue is that you should work alongside management, suppliers, and internal teams to benchmark cost globally. You tell the management that we would like to benchmark your cost with a global cost benchmarking, redesign contracts and processes, implement changes and track savings over time. We take part in this entire process as a cost consultant, which can give you a share in the cost savings which you do. It's not theoretical exercise. This kind of a consulting assignments can get you into a much larger amount of financial benefit as a consultant as well. Let me let me tell you on that the big realization. See, every organization has hidden savings, typically 10 to 20% of addressable cost. Any cost which you take on any organization, you will be in a position to do 10 to 20% of addressable cost. Now, why I'm telling this with so confidently? Because most of the contracts which they're having it is a legacy contracts. Nobody has reviewed it for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. There is a lack of benchmarking. The procurement person thinks that whatever I'm doing it for last 5 years, that is the best. He has not bothered to benchmark his existing cost with the cost which is being incurred by other competitors in other markets, in other industries. And thirdly, there is no ownership of cost categories. So nobody is in charge of a particular. There are so many cost categories in the organization. Nobody owns it. It's just being incurred as and when there is a demand for that particular cost. The cost is just incurred without getting into the entire tendering process, benchmarking, reviewing the contract terms, seeing what's happening outside the world. So you will always be, you being outside the organization, you will always be able to typically address 10 to 20% of that cost. Now, fragmented ownership is because, like logistics or energy often lack a single professional owner. Companies don't know what they should be doing. They should be paying compared to the global standards. So where do you think the maximum hidden savings lie? In which category of expense? I have found with my experience that cost categories like freight or categories like utility, power, the consumption of the various overheads is where you can easily find 10 to 20% of the addressable cost. Procurement, energy, these are the, like as Mr. Maybe has just now mentioned about IEX, such a 4 crores of savings per month, such a fantastic savings. And this is where I think client will, you will become indispensable for the client. Often the biggest leak is in the category no one is watching. Like freight, the management thinks this has to be incurred, I can't do anything about it. Packaging, insurance, waste, supplies, all these expenses are nobody's watching because they feel it's just a expenditure which has to be incurred, so it has to be incurred. But each of these expenditure, we can change the routes of the transport, we can change the packaging materials, we can work out a different insurance rates for insurance cost. Waste itself you can treat in so many ways because now with so many waste recycling company coming up, you can keep on using waste and make it as a profit center. Various supplies, even stationery supplies and printing and so many things which happen in the company are all susceptible to hidden savings. And you can get into that. Now you see, slowly, we are not talking about the audit. I'm talking about the data which you have as an auditor, and now you are able to get into the advisory functions. Suddenly, in last half an hour, we have slowly now graduated in our mindset. Now we are getting into the advisory role. The operating model shift, limitation of traditional firms. Now let us see what is our competitive advantage. What is our plus point? You understand cost because you're a cost auditor, you're a cost accountant, you've gone through the company's general ledger, expenses, cost centers, and everything. But do you have a freight specialist? Are we now? You can say that okay, I'm a cost auditor, but I am not an expert in freight, or I'm not an expert in packaging, or I don't have a global benchmarks. Usually we don't have, right? So what do we do? Do we keep quiet and do we say that okay, we will not do any such advisory functions because we are not expert in this? No. Here where the global model comes into picture. But globally, now there are firms, cost consulting firms, which you can go to them as they being a service provider. They are all working with 1,000 plus consultants, working with so many countries, working on so many cost categories, and they work on a no savings, no fee. They work on a success fee model. And if you partner with them or you talk with them that you need a freight specialist or a packaging specialist, they'll be more than happy to partner with you. Then would your client agree faster if you say that I get paid only if you save money? Of course. The answer is always yes, because you are not asking for any upfront advance. You are saying that let me look at your freight expenses, let me look at your packaging expenses. And if I can reduce the cost by 10% or 15%, I'll be charging you a certain percentage of the cost savings which you're achieving. I think that is something which you can always penetrate with your own clients very successfully. Now, so what is the CMA advantage? Right? I talked to you about the performance-based model. So when you have performance-based model, aligning incentives by charging based on a percentage of actual savings, as my slide shows. Reduced resistance, lowering the barrier for clients to engage in high-value advisory work. high margins, allow the professional to earn based on the value created, not on the time spent, and milestone-based billing. So initial assessment stage, finding stage, research stage, etc. Various stages as and when the milestone is achieved, you do the billing. Now we go to the slide of CMA advantage. Now, why is this especially powerful for CMS? Why I'm talking to a CMA fraternity to get into the advisory role and not only market about the audit? Because we all already understand cost structures. We all already have an access to the clients. We all already have the credibilities with the CFOs and promoters of the clients, so we are a cost auditor. Or you may be a cost accountant working as a CFO for a company, or maybe a cost accounting head. And then also this applies to you, that why don't you look at beyond maintaining the records, but also look at the advisory functions. You can now add global benchmarks, proven methodology, proprietary technology, and a brand that opens doors. This is we are not talking about, you abandon the audit or GST practice. We are saying you do it in addition to that. We are talking about adding a high impact, high margin consulting arm to your practice. So from compliance officer, like being a cost auditor, you get into the strategic advisory role. From a vendor of providing a cost audit services, you get into a profit partnership. From the capped income of a specific audit fees, you get into an uncapped potential. This is how CMAs move from back office to the boardroom. I mean to say, this is how you move from audit to advisory. And that is the theme of my talk today. Now, what is stopping you from moving into advisory? Now, somebody will say that, okay, this is great. Mr. Dushan, you're talking very fine, but there are many obstacles in my way and many things which I can't get into the advisory. What could be stopping you from that? Lack of confidence, lack of team, lack of methodology. Is it not? So to move you from historian to strategic partners requires three changes. A mindset change. You're focusing on a value creation or volume of reporting. So you are not only confirming with volume reporting, you're talking about a value creation as well. Expertise, you're building deep knowledge in specific cost optimization strategies. And tools, adopt new analytical methodologies and benchmarking tools. Personal transformation. Now, what is important here is that the compliance plus advisory plus performance income. This is the hybrid future model. Just as we talk about hybrid between petrol and electricity or CNG and ethanol and so on, I'm talking about a hybrid future model, not the fuel model. Hybrid future model for the CMA should be compliance plus advisory plus performance income. So you are already a compliance man, you get into the advisory mindset, and you earn your income by showing the performance. So stability is compliance provides the recurring base. You are already a compliance person. You are doing GST audit practice. Growth, advisory creates a high value engagement. Why high value engagement? Not only in terms of money, but also now you are getting engaged at a CFO, CEO, CTO type of a level. And scalability, because performance income allows you to have an uncapped earnings, because now you are not limiting your income to the audit fees. You are now going beyond the audit, and it will be related directly with the cost reduction which you have done. Now, let me ask you, bring you back into the as an interactive seminar. It is, if given opportunity, would you explore performance-based consulting or not? If you are given an opportunity, would you like to explore a performance-based consulting? I mean to say, no win, no fee, or a success fee-based consulting. Would you like to explore that? Yes or no? Yeah, I want more answer. Thank you, Tharva. Yeah. Can we have more answer? Would you like to explore a consulting based, which is based on the performance based? Not a fixed fee based, but performance based. You are going with a confidence saying that, look, I'm going to save, I'm going going to save the money and I'm taking a percentage of it. I can see the most of them are saying yes, and of course that should always be the case. Um, so what career transformation we are talking about? We're talking about scalable models. You move away from time-based building. If you look at my slide, which is there in the screen, expanded impact, leverage your network to provide broader strategic solutions. So your own network now you are leveraging by telling them that we are going to get engaged with each other to reduce your cost. And global horizon, the transition from a local practice to one with a global benchmark and capabilities. Tie up with some global consulting firm to provide you with this kind of a global benchmark and capabilities, to provide you with the global expertise so that to your existing client, you can provide them a global cost consulting services. Transformation is not a destination. It is a shift in how you perceive your own value. And I am rather very bullish about all the CMAs and all the cost accountants because all of them are working on the cost of the company and they all understand the cost structure very well. It's just about shifting a slight mindset from the audit compliance to the advisory. It's a shift in how you perceive your own value. Your own value should not be limited to the audit. Your own value should go beyond audit and interpreting the cost and numbers which you have into the value addition services. Stop selling your time. Rather, you stop selling the results and share the results with the company. That's the career transformation should take place. How many you now again make it a little more interactive? How many of you to take you now see now here I am to help you to change the mindset. Okay, we are all CMAs. Somebody must be in the industry, or somebody could be. Most of us could be in the practicing cost accountant. To change your mindset, you'll have to do certain changes with your own existing working relationship. How many of you publish professional insights online? Can you please tell me how many of you? I mean, can you say yes? Just type yes or no. That yes, I have my LinkedIn page. I am writing in ICI journals. I am having a blogs, uh, whatever. Can you please reply yes or no? How many of you have a LinkedIn? This is the most important question. How many of you have a own website or you're writing a blog? Just say yes or no. Please keep on writing. I would like to have maximum answers out of the entire crowd which is present here today. Yeah, carry on, please. Don't feel shy about saying no or yes. Just say yes. If you're not doing, you're not doing. You're going to do it very soon now. I'm going to have a time-bound target on this. Whoever is seeking a growth from mid to senior professionals, they will have to get into this. Relationship owners, those who have relationships, they will have to think about this presence and through LinkedIn website. Individuals who have built deep trust with your client base, early adopters, professionals ready to embrace performance-based consulting. Can we have more answers on this? Yes or no? Can we have more answers? Can you please frankly tell us that who doesn't have any yes or no, LinkedIn or a website of your own? If I write anybody's name, whoever is written, for example, Mr. Purvesh Patel has written no, I don't have a Miss Anuradha has written yes. So if I type the name of Miss Aniruddha Bhattacharya on a LinkedIn, I should see her biodata and profile. And if I see the profile of Mr. Purvesh Patel thereafter, yes, you have a LinkedIn profile. Great. So now, of course, the next step will be that you will again go and look at your LinkedIn profile and see that does it include all the services you are giving yourself? Does it include everything about you? Does it talk everything about your achievements, your education, your experiences? You can. Are you ready to write about your experiences as a cost auditor in some industries? So we have to have. So how do we build the visibility? Now, those who have said no, and those who have said yes. Both of them I'm asking, even though you have got a LinkedIn, even though you have website, how much are you interactive on that digital platform? Thought leadership, consistent content and insight sharing on a platform. Suppose you are an expert in your industry, you know 5 industries. Can you write about it in your LinkedIn page or a website? How do you build the visibility? Now I'm talking about having you being there. Now, to those who have written no, I'm sure that they will be motivated enough to set up their own LinkedIn page tomorrow. And if they write a LinkedIn page tomorrow, then what are you going to write on it? How are you going to build the visibility? How people, more and more people would like to get engaged with your LinkedIn page or website. CXO engagement, strategic conversations with the decision makers. So you can write about your conversation with the decision makers in your network. Visibility, increasing professional presence through speaking and publishing. You can publish a small article. You can start with one pager. You can speak about some particular subject. You can ask institute to get you involved into disseminating your knowledge. The institute has always been inviting a lot of people to write articles in their magazines. You can contribute to that. This is how the building visibility. You as a CMA sitting in the corner of a world and taking care of 5, 6, 10, 20 clients is not adequate, because we don't want to confine ourselves only to the audits and GST practice. We want to go beyond the audit and the GST practice. And that is where this today's seminar is all about. And how do we do that? So how we can take this forward together? We are all together here. Suppose on my, you know, can we work out a 90-day plan, for example, in your page or in your LinkedIn page or in your website? Can you write 2 insights on any subject? Or can you meet three CXOs and whatever conversation have you, can you share it with your fellow professionals? And can you study one cost category deeply? When I say that one cost category means, for example, if you are talking in your company, wherever you are auditor, waste is a big cost categories, or let us say um, insurance is a big cost category, or advertisement, publicity is a big cost category. Can you study in your own client because you have an access to the entire data? Can you study deeply? And then the moment you've studied any course deeply, I'm sure you're going to read more and more about it, that in other companies in the same industry, how much they are incurring that particular cost as a percentage of the sales. Because absolute amount has no meaning, let me tell you, because a small company will have a small expenditure, big company will have a big expenditure. What is relevant as a percentage to sales. And if you can know that your client is spending, overspending or underspending as compared to the percentage of sales of the similar companies out in the same industry, then that is where your action starts being advisor. That's where your entire thing, suddenly all of a sudden you have discovered yourself that you are not only a cost auditor, you are also a advisor. And to being an advisor, you have done your reading, you've done your homework. So even clients also understand that here is a gentleman who talks about benchmarking. He is a person who says that in this company, they are spending as a percentage of much less than what you're spending. Pick up any company, even from a listed environment, even if any person who you know is a CFO, but you may not be their cost auditor, but still the most of the data of the companies are in the public domain. You can work on that data and come back to it. That's what makes you advisor. That's what makes you away from a compliance mindset to the advisory mindset. Um, so my 90-day action plan, sorry, we can take to the previous slide once again. 90-day action plan. Month 1, publish at least 2 professional insights on cost optimization or related topics wherever I've written LinkedIn, ICMA. Second month, engage with 3 CXOs on purely advisory discussions. No compliance speech. Don't meet them as for the audit work, meet them for the advisory work. And third month, develop a deep master level expertise in any one specific cost categories, as a packaging or energy or insurance like that. So don't try to change everything tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Follow the 90-day plan, one insight, one conversation, one category at a time. That will put you into a more systematic way of shifting yourself from your audit functions to the advisory function. Now, Mike, before we end this and then we get into the Q&A session, if you like. Next slide, if you can. See, the final insight is that in every balance sheet, there is a hidden value. Okay. Most professionals report this, but very few unlock it. So there's a difference between reporting part of it and then unlocking those values, hidden values. And those who unlock it, they become indispensable to the client. So when you are an auditor, you are reporting a lot, but how much of your numbers which you are reporting can you unlock and find a hidden value into this? So I'll close with this thought. Now, we read a lot that India would like to become a Vishwa Guru. Prime Minister has mentioned this particular word, Vishwa Guru. Our companies must be globally competitive, not just in products, but also in cost discipline and operational excellence. In every factory, every corporate office, every balance sheet you touch, there is a hidden vault of value. You can continue to report it, or you can help unlock it and share the outcome. Please remember this. This is completely your choice. The career choice, how you're going to do in future is this. Either you continue to report to another 20 years, or you start unlocking each and every cost category and you share the outcome with your clients. Cost consulting, again, let me tell you, this may sometimes the whole seminar may look like big lecture but let me admit also that cost consulting is not for everyone, but everyone can be a cost consultant. It requires committed CMA leaders who want to build something meaningful, scalable, and future ready. If today's conversation resonated with you, I invite you to write to me at my email ID cmadcdave@dcdave.in, cmadcdave@dcdave.in. Why DC Dave? DC Dave and Company is a firm of our name, Cost Accountants. We are Mumbai-based Nariman Point cost audit and consulting firm. My earnest appeal to everyone here is that let us move beyond compliance. Let us architect profitability. Let us help build a cost competitive, global respected Viksit Bharat. As somebody said, that significant value exists within every organization. Very few professionals focus on unlocking it. Those who do become indispensable once again. So let us not remain historian of cost. Let us become architects of profitability. Now, while I'm completing lecture, let me put one slide from the Institute's website itself, which tells you the large list of the services which you can provide. As my seminar has mentioned that this is audit advisory and also giving you what are the other opportunities for the cost accountant. I'll put on a slide a long list of the areas. This is an Excel. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the extract of the printout from the Institute website that what are the areas of practice. Now, this is again compliance, but let me read out all this. So you can do audit of accounts under section 35(5). Then special audit assignments, you are allowed to do section 66. Again, because those who thought they can only do cost audit, a lot of things. Then we all know about the GST practice, access to business premises under 712, you are supposed to give a certificate. Authorized representative under section 116 of GST Act. Approved GST practitioner you can become. Ministry of Railways has included cost accountants to certify worksheet or tax liability. Ministry of Commerce and Industry Department, Industry Policy and Promotion has, you can work, there are services and certifications. Then special audit by CA or cost accountant. identify the CBs in order to verify correctness of declared production capacity. We are going to talk about this again when we do the actual annexes from the next week. Then the CBDT certification is there. Then there is an act, what is known as the Integrated Goods and Services Act and State Goods Service. There again, you are, then of course, our cost accountants, a lot of people are doing a thriving practice there. Section 138, one of the Companies Act empowers cost accountants to conduct the internal audit. So this is the major area of the cost audit. In addition to cost audit, now internal audit, gentlemen, remember that more and more internal audit is becoming an advisory functions. The days are gone where internal auditor was supposed to check the accuracy of the numbers and vouchers and all. Now internal auditors are expected to give advice on the procurement strategies and various kinds of management audit type of an exercise. Ministry of Finance special audit, is you are allowed to do. Then Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, where you can do a concurrent audit and internal audit for a national health mission. Can we scroll down, please, further? Can we have further scrolling down, please, on this? Yeah, so on and so forth. You will see that there are large number of areas of the cost audit which has been, listed down. In addition to the cost audit, you can carry on to do that. Cooperative Societies Act, again, as the slide shows. I mean, there's a huge in the Reserve Bank of India as NABARD, as SEBI, you can get yourself empaneled, National Security Depository, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, audit of meeting and billing accuracy, and then again Central Board of Indirect Taxes, Central Board of Excise and Customs. Then the certification areas may be a Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Industrial Policy and Promotion. So I leave it to you. I'm not reading out everything. This is all available on the institute website for the areas which you can do practice. Please refer to that and empanel yourself. Our firm itself is empaneled with the Indian Bank Association, where banks appoint us to do the monitoring of the companies where they have given a loan, which you also can empanel yourself easily. Every 4 years, the empanelment happens. You can write to Indian Bank Association and they'll empanel you if qualified otherwise, as per their criteria. So this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what my today's topic was. We talked about. We started with the cost accounting records, cost audit functions, and then we questioned ourselves that how much of the work we are doing as a compliance and how much we are doing as an advisory. You have to ask this question yourself. I might have prompted you to raise these questions in your career planning, and your focus should be that you should aspire to become a consultant. You should aspire to become an advisor. You should aspire to go beyond the audits and the statutory work, and faster you can do a value addition with the data available to you. Now it should be easier to you because you have the networking, you have the understanding of the cost structure. And thereafter, we also talked about the mindset, what should be our mindset to become advisor. And other than the cost auditor, we discussed about the LinkedIn website interaction. We also discussed some of the case studies, that how a cost accountant could work on the case studies itself, on the industrials, on the logistics, and bring about a substantial cost reduction. We also were lucky to have shared the present CMA, including the chairman, WRC, Mr. Meher, we are sharing his experience with the power trading, IEX, giving a substantial saving to his clients. So this is how we discussed about the case studies. And then we went on emphasizing that if it's not sufficient to just being a compliance man, from a historian, we have to build up your future for and that's what the company needs. That's what your clients need. They want to have more EBITDA driven consulting rather than just reporting system. This is what even the economy needs, and this is what the whole country needs. When we talk about easily about China and all, what happens is that we forget that they are highly, highly cost competitive. You should read Mr. Anand Goenka's article. He's a FICCI chairman in the newspaper recently. When he came back from China, he found that it was so competitive that in terms of a cost competitiveness, it's very, very difficult for India to beat them in almost most of the products. But for us, we being into the world of costing, we since costing is our domain expertise, we can do our bit by doing the advisory role. Now I am open for any Q&A. If anybody wants to write, they can just raise a hand, and the person will unmute you, and you can raise a question, or you can type the question uh, uh, in the chat itself. Any one of these, everybody is most welcome. Consider it as a very interactive seminar. While at the same time, from the next 4 sessions which I am taking, from next Thursday, every Thursday, 3 o'clock, we are meeting till the end of the next month, July. We are taking individual annexures. We are going to look at the cost accounting standards applicable to them. We are going to do a live examples, and we are going to also see that how each and every annexure can be susceptible to an advisory role. How can I convert each and every annexure of a cost accounting records into the advisory role? So this is going to be it's a session. So please do remain present in the large numbers from next Thursday onwards, because that you'll be able to pick up advisory role from this lectures itself, and do a value addition. And that's how we are going to all become very strong in our profession, and will not limit ourselves. Let me tell you, even as a GST practitioners, you can become advisor, because as a GST practitioners, you have access to lots of data from the company. It's just not a cost auditor who has an access to the data. Even a GST person has an access to the data. So before we go to we meet again on the next Thursday. If somebody has any crucial question, and we just would not like to discuss anything, because we are all accomplished professionals. But if you have any specific question which you think that this should be addressed here right now, then please free to type it on the chat or raise your hand, and uh, our WRC who is handling this, they can definitely unmute you, and you can ask the question. So I assume, since nobody has raised a hand, or should I wait for somebody to raise a hand? We have approximately 75 participants currently. It crosses number, but now that's what it stands for. If anybody has any question, and if nobody has a question, then I hand over the mic to WRC office.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we will wait for the 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll wait for the 5 minutes. Perfect.
Yes,
That's
yes, sir.
fine.
Any other questions from the members? Sir, I think there is no other questions from the members.
Uh-huh.
Then we will conclude this session, sir.
I'm just writing one email in case if anybody has to discuss anything or any professional suggestions. Yeah, I think that's it. We can conclude this. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar seminar, and look forward to see you again.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the Professional Development Committee of the Western India Regional Council of ICMA, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Dushyant sir for the wonderful sessions and all the participants for participating in this series. Also, we have second sessions on the every Thursday. I request all of you please join. Thank you very much. Now we will officially conclude this session. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.